Managing people, I think, is one of the hardest things to do. Some people, it probably comes more natural to them, and then some people have to really work at it and learn that process of people management. I've learned things, I've made mistakes along the way, and I like to think that I've learned from those mistakes. But yeah, getting to that point of being a good people manager and a good leader did not come to me overnight, and I really had to work at it.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow? Growing a company fast requires you to have a strong team, and that team has to have the right mindset. What we're going to talk about today is the entrepreneurial mindset, not just at the founder level, but throughout the company, and what that really means to creating a company that works together, collaborates, and really pushes the boundaries of growth. I'm here with co-founder Josh Teeple. This is a company that was number 4,004 on the 2000 Inc. list, and it really is 2020. Sorry, we're with Grobstein Teeple. They are a full accounting firm, and we are going to talk about the power of the entrepreneurial mindset across the company. And today's conversation is really about you being a leader that inspires people to think like entrepreneurs. So, Josh, how are you?
Morning, Gene. Thanks for having me.
I am excited to talk to you about, growing your company fast. Tell us a little bit about your accounting firm.
So we started our firm about 8 years ago. I think it was 8 people at the time. Most of those 8 original folks are still with us today. We've grown over that number of years, mostly organically, a couple of little strategic acquisitions here or there. But we've added over 40 additional people and have had some tremendous opportunities and some great revenue growth, and feel very fortunate to be in the position we are in today after such a short period of time.
So you're the co-founder with the other name partner. This is very common inside of accounting firms. Did you guys come from like a big 6, big 4 kind of background?
Yeah. So my co-founding partner Howard and I, we've known each other for a long time, and so our professional relationship is also conjoined with our personal relationship. And he's kind of my work family, and we feel very much like we're brothers and kind of joined together in that way. We started together in a firm 2 firms ago that was a large regional firm. It was about 120 people. That firm was acquired by a very large national firm. I think at the time it was the 8th largest firm in the country. And we were there together at that firm for about 4 years or so. And after that 4 years, we decided to spin out on our own and give it a go and see if we can make it on our own.
Well, I've had some clients that are accountants, and there's some specific struggles that are necessary to overcome as accountants are moving into a management and leadership positions. Does anything come to mind of a struggle that you've overcome to be the leader that you are today?
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable learning experience for me. Managing people, I think, is one of the hardest things to do. Some people, it probably comes more natural to them, and then some people have to really work at it and learn that process of people management. I've learned things, I've made mistakes along the way, and I like to think that I've learned from those mistakes. But yeah, getting to that point of being a good people manager and a good leader did not come to me overnight, and I really had to work at it.
Josh, one of the things that our company has researched about your company is you really believe that employees are an important part of the system. They're not just people there collecting a paycheck, but they're really a part of something. And you believe in putting your people first. Tell us what that means to you.
Not only are they an important piece, they are the fundamental piece of our business. We're a professional services firm, and without our people, we're nothing. And we're very fortunate and lucky to work with just some tremendous individuals at every level. We love grooming people from right when they come out of college or even before they leave college as interns. It's a great opportunity for us to get to know them and them to get to know us in the firm. We've had a lot of success there, and it's something that we're really focused on now is bringing in the interns and then bring them in staff accountants and kind of grow with the firm. But we like to say that we hire future partners, and we like to hire superstars, people that are go-getters, that are aggressive, that are kind of like-minded with us in that regard, that they want to really make something of themselves in their professional career. We're not particularly interested in pluggers, although there is room for those people as well. But we want those people that want to grow and become future potential owners in the firm down the road. And I think that's a mindset that has served us well. We've taken, again, back to those original 8 people that took the huge risk and left the warm and fuzzy confines of the big national firm to go out with us. They all took pay cuts. We took pay cuts, my partner and I. Most of those people are still with us today, and most of them are now our partners. And that was something that we set out to do with that group of individuals, and it's worked out really, really great for us.
Josh, I want to go into this a little bit deeper because I think there's some nuance to this that a lot of people don't really understand when it relates to selecting people that could be future partners. And you put something in there about potential owners. You want people that have a desire to be a part of something, not just have a job. How do you interview for that specific kind of question?
That's tricky because you never really know. I mean, like when you're hiring someone straight out of college, they may not know what they want to be. Yeah, they studied 4 years in business school, and maybe they're sitting for the CPA exam, and they kind of had that accounting kind of focus. But until you leave college and go work at a public accounting firm, you don't really know what that experience is like and what it's like working in the world of public accounting. Our firm is a little bit different. We are a full service public accounting firm, but our bread and butter really is a consultancy practice. We do taxes, we do a little bit of insurance, and we do some of those kinds of things, but we're really more well-rounded business consultants. So this is more of a business type environment than what I would term a kind of classical accounting environment. And so once people get into that and they get to experience these different things and lots of different projects and personalities and challenges and those types of things, it really gives them kind of a well-rounded exposure to the world in which we work. As far as interviewing those people to see if they're going to be a good fit with our culture, we do spend a lot of time on the interview process, particularly if they hadn't already been an intern with us. Again, I love the internship because we really get to know the person and see if they're going to be a good fit for the long run. But if we don't have that opportunity, we do spend a lot of time with that interviewee. That person will meet people at all different levels, multiple partners and then managers and staff people. And pre-COVID, we used to, as part of the interview process, we used to have the interviewee go out to lunch with a group of people that would be that person's peers. And we would basically, that would be a soft interview or whatever you want to call it. But they would go out to lunch with future coworkers. And then myself or another partner in the firm would kind of debrief with the people that went out to lunch with the interviewee, and we would just get a straight response from them. Are they a good fit for our culture or are they not?
I love the fact that you're trying to understand culture fit, because I think of all the questions I've asked on this podcast, whenever we do come to this question about what's the biggest mistake you've made, more than 50% would say hiring for skill fit instead of culture fit. So I appreciate you bringing some light to that. The reason I wanted to have you on here, Joshua, is because you have a real keen interest in seeing people that have an entrepreneur mindset. So what is an entrepreneur mindset to you?
We don't leave anything on the table. We look at all sorts of different opportunities. We have the primary accounting firm, but we have other businesses going on. And it's one of the reasons that Howard and I went and founded this firm, is because we wanted the flexibility of being the business owners, of being the entrepreneurs that's creating something that's very much ours. And ever since we founded the firm, we've been fiercely protective of this culture that we've been nurturing in that time. And I do call it an entrepreneurial culture. A lot of accountants, they're never really equipped, trained with, given opportunities to be market facing people. We like all of our people to be out there comfortable in the marketplace, whatever that marketplace may look like for them. We encourage them to expand their networks in any way that makes sense for them. They could join, obviously a professional kind of organization, or they could join try to get on the board of a not-for-profit. We're big believers in giving back to the community and being supportive of that. They could join a softball team. I don't really care what it is, as long as they're out there getting comfortable in their own skin. Again, most accountants, you think of the green visor, you think of the people that just aren't out there being comfortable talking to other people. And we try to get them over that, because if you want to have a career with a lot of longevity, particularly in a firm like ours, which is entrepreneurial, you're going to have to start giving back at some point by, either generating business directly, and we have people that certainly make rain, but we don't have anyone that's just a pure rainmaker. Everybody here is what we call a technician or a worker. In addition to, some of us also make it rain. And we all work really, really hard, lots of billable hours, and lots of admin time given back to the firm, and all those types of things. But you have to have that mindset to get to the upper echelons, that you want to be a real contributor. And you can be a contributor in many different ways, but you have to have that mindset that is something that is important to you. We firmly believe that if we support these people that have that mindset, that have those types of ambitions, and we enable them with the tools, we open the doors, whatever it is that we can do to support them, if it's going to be good for them, it's going to be good for the firm in the long run.
Now, mindset is something that's been, coming up a lot inside of companies and organizations, and it comes up a lot in more smaller companies like yours. When I was working with really big companies, no one ever talked to me about my mindset, for example. And, over the last 5 years or so, leaders are getting tuned in to the importance of mindset and how people see the world, their beliefs that are underlying to how they perform what they're doing. And have you gone through formal training to understand mindset and be able to engage with others around what their beliefs are?
Yeah, I actually have done some formal training at the firm I was at before we founded our firm. I was part of a very good program that they ran and they called it internally, they called it the Leadership Academy.
Okay.
And it was me and I don't remember, a couple dozen other future leaders of that great big firm. And we had all sorts of guest speakers and workshops. And I mean, it was a huge investment on that firm's part to do this, just in the lost chargeability alone. would have been millions of dollars of lost chargeability. But they did a very good job with that, and I did take away a lot of valuable things. But more important than the lessons that I learned there, it was the people that I met in that group, and my peers and the people that I ended up spending a lot of time with at that firm. We all kind of were on this ship together. It was a very rewarding experience.
So Josh, let's put a spotlight on this for a second. If you're talking to employees about mindset, what is the biggest challenge that they have to overcome to really, perform at a higher level? A lot of people, for example, have certain fears that hold them back, or it's a confidence issue. What would you say that is the conversation you have to have over and over again with your people?
It's getting them to that point where they're comfortable in their own skin and getting out into the marketplace. I keep coming back to that, because that's just not something that accountants are trained to do. And I work with a lot of lawyers, and frankly, lawyers aren't trained to do it. And the gift of gab comes naturally to some folks, but I would say they're probably in in the minority. I think that getting out there and getting comfortable and being your own skin is something that most people actually have to work at. And to be really successful as an accounting entrepreneur or whatever you want to call it, you really have to be good out there to develop those relationships and those that which will ultimately culminate in business and revenue. One of the things that we try to stress with our younger people is, look, we don't expect results tomorrow or next month or next year or 3 years from now. What we expect is that you are laying the framework and the groundwork for these meaningful long-term business relationships. And hopefully, some of these relationships that start out just as business become personal friendships, or personal friendships often result in getting some sort of referral or business. And you just don't know where that business opportunity is going to come from. So you nurture it all. And it's an investment. It's a time investment. It's a monetary investment on the part of my firm, because we pay for dinners and we pay for sporting events and we pay for you to take someone golfing and those types of things. And then again the opportunity costs of the lost chargeability. And accounting firms are crazy about chargeability, but that's an opportunity cost for us that we as a firm pay right now, with the hopes that in 5 years from now, it's paying off dividends because you are so good at building these interpersonal relationships that are going to pay off.
Joshua, I'm glad you went there, because I think a lot of people don't understand this. And if we go back to some of the conversations you've had, is, you've got 50 employees. Not everybody's expected to make rain or bring in money and clients. A lot of tacticians and technicians around this, but you want to make sure that you're having the kind of conversations where people are willing to put themselves out there and not be afraid to have these conversations. One of the biggest things I've seen, because I've had so many conversations with people, is they don't really see the value in selling something. But when you ask questions like, let's go back over the last projects you worked on. How did you create value there? Oh, exactly. Does that make sense? When you have those questions to go back to, then they can carry that forward into, that never would have happened if someone didn't put themselves out there.
Absolutely. And I love it when one of our younger people are inquisitive about those types of things, and they really want to understand the dynamics of, why are we doing this? Why is this important? How did this happen? How are we involved in this project today? And it's great for them to see the soup to nuts kind of experience. And I think that's one of the opportunities that we offer to our employees, is that level of exposure, as opposed to sitting in a cubicle and working on bank reconciliations for a year. They're interacting with partners and interacting directly with our clients and lawyers and bankers and everybody else throughout this process. So they see the entire thing, so they don't lose the forest for the trees. And I think that's a really neat opportunity that they have in a consultancy practice like this. So for sure.
Josh, I want to bring this home. What we've been talking about today is inspiring people, really employees, to have an entrepreneur mindset. And it takes a special breed of leadership to be able to bring that out in others. So I really appreciate you having that conversation today. What is the one skill you're working on now to be a stronger leader?
I always work on trying to have more patience, and trying to get people more involved, and trying to make more time for their development. And it's one of my personal shortcomings that I recognize, and I do try to work at it. But I'm so busy, and I got so many things on my plate, that it's hard to just take that 15 minutes and sit down and now during COVID have that one-on-one Zoom meeting that I need to have with those people. And I always regret that I don't do it more frequently, because inevitably the feedback I get, either directly from the person with whom I sit down, or I hear about it from one of my partners who heard about it, or something like that, was, boy, I really enjoyed that time where Josh sat down with me and walked me through this project, or told me how to do this cash flow statement, or whatever the thing is. The fact that one of the founding partners would sit down with a staff accountant and spend that 15 or 20 minutes to really help them understand why what we're doing here is so important for the firm, and by extension, so important for your professional growth, that I think that pays crazy dividends.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because I think a lot of leaders just don't see the importance of spending that extra time with individual players to help them grow, help them shift beyond where they are today, but it pays off in spades. So Josh, thanks for being here on the podcast.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me, Gene. It's been fun.
Well, I'm going to reflect back a little bit of the things that Josh talked about. This entrepreneur spirit is something I think you as a leader should be paying attention to, hiring people into it, because these are the people that bring creative solutions to normal everyday problems that your clients are facing. And if you have employees that are required to think, then you want to make sure that you are tuning into this entrepreneurial spirit, because it really will help them become better performers and better leaders. And you, by doing this, will be a better leader too. And if you're concerned about how to really take your leadership skills to the next level, make sure you check out Fast Growth Boardroom, because we have a place where you can go learn how to be an extraordinary leader. You can create content and learn from others that are really growing their companies faster than ever before. Fast Growth Boardroom is something that you may want to take your business to the next level and your leadership. Just go to fastgrowthboardroom.com. As always, when you think of courage and you think of leadership, think of Growth Think Tank. As always, lead with courage. See you next time.